Listen to this. So this guy ends up in prison for buying a shower curtain, and not just any shower curtain, a $6,000 shower curtain. This is Dennis, one of the most powerful CEOs in America, and he is using his company like a personal ATM. Okay, so picture this. There's this massive company, Tyco. It's huge. It makes everything from security systems to undersea cable. And at the top you have this guy, Dennis. He's not just a CEO. He's a corporate shark. His whole reputation is built on being aggressive. He's buying companies left and right, one a week, sometimes more. He's the king, and Tyco is his kingdom, growing bigger every single day. Wall Street loves him. They call him the most aggressive CEO in America. He's on the cover of magazines. He's a titan, unstoppable. And a guy like that, he gets perks. Of course he does. One of those perks is this thing called the Key Employee Loan Program. Sounds normal, right? A way for top executives to get a company loan. But Dennis looks at this program and his brain just works different. He doesn't see a loan program. He sees a loophole. A big, beautiful loophole. So he goes to his buddy, the CFO, and they start cooking. First, Dennis needs some cash, so he just gives himself a loan from the company. We're talking $19 million. Poof, just like that. Then he decides he wants to buy some art, so he gets another loan. $30 million. He needs to cover his taxes. Another loan. It just keeps happening, and he's taking hundreds of millions of dollars. But here's the kicker. A loan means you gotta pay it back. Right? Wrong. Not in Dennis's world. See, Dennis has the power to approve things, so he uses his power to forgive his own loans. He just signs a piece of paper, and the debt disappears. It's gone. He and his CFO are basically just taking giant handfuls of cash from the company vault and then writing themselves a note that says, "It's all good." They called it a loan, but it was a heist from day one. This isn't just a perk anymore. This is a system, a machine for making them rich. But even that isn't enough. The fake loans are great, but it's not fast enough. Dennis wants more. He's got a taste for it now. So he and the CFO cook up an even simpler plan. No more hiding behind loans. They decide to just give themselves massive, unapproved bonuses. They literally just order the company to wire tens of millions of dollars directly into their own bank accounts. 35 million here, 45 million there. They call them special bonuses for all their hard work. But the board? The people who are supposed to approve this stuff? They have no idea. It's a shadow payment system. A direct pipeline from the company's treasury into Dennis's pocket. He's not even pretending anymore. He thinks he's untouchable. He thinks the money will never run out, and no one will ever check the receipts. And with all this cash, what do? You throw a party. But Dennis doesn't just throw a party. He throws a $2 million spectacle of pure insanity. He decides his wife is turning 40, and the theme needs to be a Roman orgy. So he flies 200 of his closest friends to Sardinia, an island off the coast of Italy. On the company's dime, of course, he books a whole resort. He hires a fleet of jets. He's got actors dressed as gladiators and Roman guards everywhere, and he builds a giant custom-made swimming pool for the event. The invitations go out on scrolls announcing this birthday bash. And for entertainment, he doesn't get a DJ. He pays the legendary Jimmy Buffett $250,000 to fly in and play a 1-hour set. And the centerpiece of the whole event, the thing that shows you exactly where his head is at, is the ice sculpture. He commissions a perfect life-sized ice sculpture of Michelangelo's David, but with a twist, this David has a tube running up its back, connected to bottles of Stolichnaya vodka. The masterpiece is a vodka luge. It's peeing premium vodka into the glasses of his guests. This is what he's spending millions of company dollars on. A vodka-peeing statue. It is the ultimate act of a man who believes there are no consequences. The party is insane, but it's temporary. Dennis wants permanent trophies, so he decides he needs an apartment in New York City. The best, of course. He finds a palace on Fifth Avenue, one of the most expensive streets in the world. It costs $30 million, and Dennis thinks, why should I pay for all of this? So he gets his company, Tyco, to pay for half of it. He tells them it's for corporate use, but it's his home. He's living there, rent-free, in a palace paid for by his shareholders. But an empty palace is no fun, so he needs to decorate it. He goes on a shopping spree. He buys art, not just posters. We're talking masterpieces. He buys a Monet. He buys a Renoir. Millions and millions of dollars worth of classic art. And who pays for it? Tyco. He has the paintings shipped directly to his new apartment, and the bill goes straight to the office. Then comes the final absurd detail, the thing that ties it all together, the bathroom. Dennis spends over $2 million just renovating the bathrooms. He gets a dog-shaped umbrella stand for $15,000. And for the shower, he buys that $6,000 shower curtain. The company paid for that too. Every single absurd luxury, every drop of excess, all funded by the business he's supposed to be running. But a kingdom built on fraud can't last. And the way it all comes crashing down is almost an accident. The DA's office is investigating something totally different. They're looking at a weird sales tax issue with art galleries. They noticed Dennis bought all this incredible art, the Monet, the Renoir, but he didn't pay any sales tax. He had the empty boxes shipped to his office in New Hampshire where there's no sales tax to pretend the art went there. But the art itself went straight to his apartment. It's a clumsy, arrogant crime. And that's the thread. The investigators start pulling on it. They start looking at Dennis and see one weird payment, then another, and another. Suddenly, they're not just looking at sales tax, they're looking at the entire company. The loans that were never loans. The secret bonuses, the party, the apartment. They crack open Tyco's books, and it's all there. Hundreds of millions of dollars stolen in the most brazen way imaginable. The whole scam, the whole kingdom unravels in weeks. The headlines are everywhere. The Titan is falling. So now Dennis is in court. His defense is just as arrogant as his crimes. He basically says, yeah, I took the money, but the board of directors knew about it. It was all part of my compensation. He's trying to claim that taking $100 million without telling anyone was basically just a perk of the job. He sits there acting like he's the victim. But the prosecution just lays out the receipts. They show the jury the documents. They talk about the secret bonuses. They show them the pictures from the toga party. And they show them the invoice for the $6,000 shower curtain. The jury sees it. They see the pure, unfiltered greed. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a man who treated a public company like his own private bank account. The verdict comes down. Guilty. Guilty of grand larceny. Guilty of securities fraud. Guilty on 22 of 23 counts. And right at that moment, the entire world sees the ultimate payoff. The mugshot. The slick, powerful, most aggressive CEO in America is gone. In his place is a convicted felon in a cheap polo shirt staring into a police camera. The party is officially over. The judge throws the book at him. He's sentenced to 8 to 25 years in a maximum security prison. He's ordered to pay back over $100 million in restitution and another $70 million in fines. All the money he stole, he has to give it back. And then some. He goes from a Fifth Avenue palace to a prison cell. He served his time, getting out on parole after about 7 years. He lives a quiet life now, out of the spotlight. The king is a ghost. But the story remains a rapid-fire tale of how a titan went to prison, all starting with a single gilded $6,000 shower curtain.